Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and we're back with another episode of Take My Money, where we look at some current crowdfunding projects. A lot of these are probably ending relatively soon, so if you're watching this pretty close to when we release it, and you're interested in some of these, better get to them right away, or they might have late back options. I think a lot of these are due for mid to late next year, so most of the time, if it's a longer thing like that, usually seems like they have a late pledge. But anyway, we kind of just give our thoughts of whether or not we'd want to back them, if we are backing anything. I think it's been a little bit since we've actually backed something.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
We've been good. We've been good. So
We've
we've
been
earned
good
up
by
some
we.
backs. We've earned up something to pay.
There
here.
we go. There we go. By we, you mean me, probably. I think it's been even longer that you haven't. I think, what was it? Crown of Ash is probably the last one you did.
I think so. And that
That's
should be
probably
arriving
been over a year.
shortly.
Oh boy.
Um,
He's waiting for that to arrive, then he can do the next.
that's right.
But yeah, past all that intro, we're looking at a big one right off the bat here, and Luthier, I think Luthier, the art of the instrument. 623,000 out of a 40,000 goal, 5,200 backers, 3 days to go. This is the company, the publisher anyway, that brought forward Distilled, which has been a pretty big hit. It's won some awards this last year. I don't think the designer and stuff was the same one though, right? I don't think that, at least
Not
I
that
don't know that they
not
said
that I,
that
not
that I
that I
saw,
saw.
and I feel like they would have said that. So maybe
Yeah,
I missed it,
everything.
but um, yeah, I think this one looks interesting. It kind of makes me think of Distilled. It's kind of got some good production and good artwork.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of a Euro-y game with some kind of interesting things going on. Uh, I'd probably be interested debating getting this one because we recently did play Distilled on Board Game Arena, and I actually liked that one quite a bit. I wanted to get back to it and play that one even some more to see if I want to buy that one. But I mean, if they have people working on this one, developing it and stuff, and getting it to kind of that standard, I think this one could be a pretty big hit as well.
Yeah. This one is, I would say, maybe not as intriguing of a theme for me, but I did enjoy Distilled more than I thought I was going to when I was trying to read the rules a little bit, but it ended up being pretty approachable with the rules. Once you got a few turns in, it felt a lot quicker than I thought to actually understand the game. So hopefully that continues to be with their games because it's looking, at least first impression, to be another big, heavy, crunchy Euro, which is initially off-putting for me, but they have built up a little bit of trust with Distilled because I did really enjoy that one. So hopefully there is a good bit of influence carried over.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I don't know that it'll be enough to back this one. I think they have a couple versions of things that you can back. Um, and yeah, I was kind of thinking the deluxe version because I think that's the one with the screen printing on it, right? The other one doesn't have screen printing, I believe. I think it might have some other changes and stuff too, some other differences, but I thought that it said something about the screen printing versus,
Oh, yep, screen printed. Looks like.
which I believe if you were just getting the base, I don't think it was screen printed, but
Yeah.
could be wrong on that. And then they have like some of these other
Deluxe.
bigger ones. You get a custom soundtrack, vinyl, and then I think you can get this uh, pipe organ dice tower. Really
Ridiculous.
spent a lot of money.
What are there, 2 dice in this? Yeah, it's probably. Oh, I like that. I like those inserts right there.
That is pretty cool. I,
Custom
I always like
shaped.
when I always
Like,
like when they're kind of customized
it was a dog
and they
park. It
work.
had little dog bone
Yeah,
shaped ones. It may make it. It looks like this will still work for what's in it. You don't
yeah.
want to sacrifice like use.
Usability. Yeah. That's just it. If you're just doing it to be cute and it ruins usability, I would just be like, just leave it as this a rectangle or something. Um, yeah, it looks like it maybe should hold it pretty well.
Get a
Uh,
baton for $15.
Real baton. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the bigger, the higher things that they had on their options, I'm like, I don't. I mean, maybe if I was a really big music fan, I might have some interest in it, but
Yeah,
maybe a little bit too much. I don't know that I would have offered that personally.
yeah.
Like
I
if
mean,
you have a solid game, I don't
yes.
know that you need that stuff, but maybe.
Maybe they had a bunch left over, and they're like, let's design a game and let's just have these be an add-on. So
Yeah, it could have been something they were trying to get in there at a decent price point, and maybe what they were trying just wasn't working, so it was more of an expensive thing to do.
yeah,
Could be maybe
shipping
how they envisioned
was
it.
15 to 25 bucks. And the timeline's looking for delivery in June 2025, which is a
Probably a
little
little
under a
under a year.
year. Yeah, so I hope that maybe this comes to Board Game Arena so that we can try this one as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw they said it was on both of the others. It was on Tabletopia and Tabletop Simulator, I think. I'm like, dang it. I wish it was on there like Distilled, because Distilled is, I mean, I don't remember. It might have gone to, it might be in as a general game now, but I think when we initially played it, it was still in the beta or whatever,
Oh,
technically. Um, and it worked pretty flawlessly then. Yeah. Board Game Arena just makes it so much easier than some of those other ones where you got to
yes.
kind of manually move the things and stuff. But yeah,
Yes.
interested in that one. It's probably towards the top of my list this week, but I don't think I'll pull the trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that one would probably be near the top for you, especially after we did our Vincent Dutrait art
Well,
top 10 favorite covers, and this made your list.
it did.
Not quite mine, but it is very nice. Oh boy.
Then a
And
game we've maybe been tempted by. Well, an expansion. I did not realize they were already on 4 expansions for this
I'm like,
game.
how many came with the original game? There must have been 2 or 3,
That's what I was
up to
thinking.
4.
So I feel like maybe already been one reprint. I'm not 100% certain on that. I feel like there maybe was one reprint, which makes me think maybe then it was maybe a third expansion. So yeah, possibly 1 or 2 expansions in the initial campaign, and then is what I'm thinking. I could be totally wrong. Maybe there were 3 right off the
Gotta
bat.
be. Gotta be. But people keep coming back. I guess there's some people who like this game. We just heard a couple reviews which weren't all that positive and or extremely positive, and we just wrote the game off. But I guess it has its fans. It's 3,200 backers, almost $400,000.
Yeah.
Um, Coming back for the next expansion, or maybe first timers finally getting the game. This one's always been a little disappointment for me because I'm like John D. Clare. I love his games, especially card crafting games,
Hmm.
primarily Mystic Vale. Just loved what he did there, and to take that mechanism and put it into a bigger game, I thought was something that I'd be just easy buy, instant back,
Right.
but it just seemed like there was a little too much going on in this game.
Yeah. So I think we watch a little bit of gameplay. I think
I
too
think so.
once, and it
I
was
think so.
kind of parts of it were kind of seeming a little grindy, or yeah, just a little bit too much going on. And I was like, if you're sailing the seas and stuff, I want to make it and correct us if we're wrong, because I'd love to love this game. So I mean, if you have had a great experience with this game, let us know. And maybe we're just totally wrong on this, but the impressions that I was getting, that it was just kind of slow and grindy, and I just want to be a pirate sailing quick, doing crazy stuff. And if it's kind of more of a slow slog, it's like, it's not quite, I don't know, up to par with what I
Yeah,
want from that type of theme. And like you
yeah,
said, his Mystic Veil thing, I really like how that system works, and I don't know if it's quite as interesting in this one.
yeah. I think this is maybe a bit too realistic. Really putting
Mm-hmm.
you into the world and managing all these different things. Or we're just looking for something a little snappier. But if you want everything, you can get it for $549, which I mean that's about average for an all-in nowadays, especially
I think that's a little low.
third printing with all these expansions. Although they don't look that big of expansions.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. That's why I'm like, it looks like a
Ooh,
lot almost. I
look at
mean, you're
those
getting
cannons.
Yeah, it looks like you're getting maybe some metal stuff. I guess I don't know what this box thing is in the center. That's
So yeah,
a
that was like a special storage thing that you can open. Oh, you just opened it right up in your couch shelf.
huh.
Pull the drawers out. Pretty
So I
cool.
guess I don't know how much something like that costs. So maybe it makes sense for that price. That price still
Yeah.
seems pretty high to me, but
Yeah.
maybe it makes sense. I don't know how much something like making that costs. I haven't seen that on any other game really before. So um, uh, don't get me wrong. It looks like a ton of content, and that's where I'm like,
It is.
I think if I was going to back this, at this point, I would still, I think, only get the base because that already looks like a lot. And yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Expansions just, I mean, you're gonna have a ton and ton of content, and I don't know, it can just be hard to do sometimes. But I think AAG is very known for doing just it seems like tons of expansions for certain games.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like this one must be doing better than I had maybe thought because it's still, I mean, getting reprints and expansions, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't hear that many
Um,
people talk about it. I don't hear them mention like, oh, this is a top 100 game for me, their top 100 lists. I don't know that I've really heard anyone say that,
I feel like
but
just like maybe one or two people I've ever heard like where it's pretty decently high, and even then, I don't know if it's like top 10. Um, but yeah, shipping is going to be 15. Well, depending on what you get, 15 to 25, and all the different pledge levels. I assume you can pick, choose whatever you want. Expansions are all in base game. Um, it still interests me every time I see it, sadly, but
mhm.
um, maybe
I don't
they'll.
know. We'll have to go to some conventions or something where they have it maybe and try it there first because, yeah, part of it too just seems a little overwhelming.
Yeah,
Maybe if we played it and stuff, maybe it would be like, oh, yeah, it's not actually too bad, once you know how to set it up.
yeah.
Let
Get
us
Bruno,
know if you've played it.
yes, get Bruno Catala to make a two-player version. Another game that I've been looking for a two-player version of, Kemet. There's an expansion to Kemet Blood and Sand. This is Kemet Rise of the Gods, which is an expansion that introduces gods that you can use and manipulate, whatever. I assume using, attacking, controlling, different things like that. You can already control monsters. Why do we need gods?
I kind of assumed they already kind of were like Egyptian gods, I guess. I thought they were already in the game. I don't know that much about Kemet. From what I understand, at least, it's like a big map game where you're kind of trying to control areas. I think something like that. Is that right?
Yeah,
Sort of battling. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I've had some interest in playing it, but this is another one where it's like, maybe at a convention or something because I think this one plays better at higher player counts. We don't tend to
yeah,
play that many games with higher player counts, and players in our group that would play. I know Michaela does not like area control and stuff, and not
yeah.
really into combat, so it doesn't really seem like a game for her. I'd maybe try this one if someone was playing it at a convention and needed another person.
Yeah. We might own the game if I enjoyed the artwork of the board a little more. Because I was tempted by it, and I'm just like, that board doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah,
At least
it
not as
looks like
much.
an older Euro game.
Yes,
So
yes.
look at that board.
Yeah, this had like 5,000 backers, $600,000. So it's again doing well and
It is.
breathing new life into. I was going to call it Ankh, into Kemet.
Did it
Uh,
say something about a team game though? Was it teams
yeah,
against each other? I
there's
didn't look at
so
it.
there's
Or are you against the game?
So there's now, I think you can do 2v2v2 or
Oh,
3v3 or 2v2. So you can team up in the game now, which sounds
yeah,
fun, but that's probably not going to come up very often for us. That we're going to get
yeah,
six people that want to play an area control game.
right. I guess I didn't look into it further to see if that was. For some reason, I was thinking maybe that was against the game. So I'm like, oh, Pepper's gonna get what he wants. He can play cooperatively against the game. But yeah, I guess I hadn't
There
thought
was
of
a
it. Team
solo. I
versus
think
team.
there was a solo something in here that I saw, which is it's impossible to find anything on this giant page, but I think there was something that said something about solo, and I'm like, maybe I didn't see if you could add the module into the two-player game, but
Oh,
it had me a
yeah, I don't know.
little interested. But not enough to back it at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little more expensive too, but it looks like you get a lot of content. It's another big box, probably like Dead Reckoning is.
Yep.
Lots
So
of content.
get the collectors, I'm guessing all the new stuff. So everything but the core box for
Mm-hmm.
160 and just all in for 230, which is a good bit less than Dead Reckoning. And
See, that's why I feel like Dead Reckoning seemed like a
yeah,
lot because
that's
I'm like,
true.
I think even some of these big games get to maybe 300 tops. Granted, I mean, this it looks like it's in euros, so I guess I don't remember what that translates to. It might be.
Oh, that's true.
Is it weaker than the dollar? I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know.
but yeah,
Either way, I think it's
thousand
still
people going all in.
wow, pretty
That
crazy for a
is,
game that probably how old is it? It's got to be 10 years old, doesn't it?
yeah, at
The
least.
original,
Yeah,
not the updated.
yeah.
Maybe. Maybe it's not. I always think things are older than they are. But I
Yes,
suppose like Terraforming Mars Inside, they're coming up on 10 years. Not
that's
that far
true.
away.
That's true.
Ooh, we're gonna get a 10th year anniversary of Terraforming Mars.
I mean, Tapestry is like 5 years old now.
Wow.
They're
Well, I think
old.
Jamie said that he's not doing anniversary edition, so I'm not getting too excited
Come
about those
on,
ones.
5th year
Terraforming
anniversary.
Mars.
5th year anniversary. What is that? Wood? The wood anniversary? Something wood with
I think so.
Tapestry. I need it. But yeah, I think that was going. This is shipping up for March as well.
That's not too bad.
Another game that must be around for a while. This is the third installment, Burgle Bros 3 Future Flip. Throwing a little futuristic theme on it. So it's that
Slap
point in
that on there.
it's that point in the franchise where they're just grasping at anything. Space, future, sci-fi.
I was gonna say space. We gotta get into the sci-fi elements. Yeah, 224,000. That's doing pretty great. 2,700 backers. This one's only got 36 hours to go, so you're gonna have to be pretty quick because
Yep.
it's probably gonna be much less than that.
Yes.
But yeah, it looks like it's been well received. I don't know too much about Burgle Bros, but it seems like it's maybe a cooperative heist game.
Yeah, that the theme is mostly what I know about the game. I saw a little bit of the board, and it looks like you put some little Catan roads on the board to break things up, I assume, and try to maneuver to not get caught as you're trying to pull off a heist, which I like that theme. And I don't know the mechanics of the game, but that seems like a good thrill for a game that should hopefully have some stand-up moments.
Yeah, I was a little interested. I have no idea anything about it. If you scroll back up just a little bit, this Burgle Bros Trick and Take. The bonus
I
tour
didn't
back,
see
they've
that.
upgraded the Burgle poker deck to include a new cooperative trick taking game.
Ooh,
I don't know,
fun.
something about that sounds interesting, but I don't know. Maybe you'd need
Cool.
a certain amount of people to play it, though. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Cooperative trick taking. Never been done before. Yeah, it looks nice. The components are seem a lot toned down from some of the earlier projects, but
That's true.
still nice. Good pops of color. This one is maybe I would say the most approachable game so
Yeah,
far, for sure, and probably the one I'm
I would
most
agree.
interested in so far. But you can get the second edition, I believe, or second version, a new compact edition of it for $45. I believe you can add on is what that is. And introducing VR something. I don't know what's going on with this.
That old virtual reality. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But yeah, it looked like there were a lot of different options of things to add on. So I'm like, yeah, I think if I, wanted something here, I'd probably have to look into some of what's previously been released, look into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It could be fun. Seems like a fun theme.
Still about $50 seems. I guess it's average, but
Yeah,
it seems a little much just because my idea of this is a smaller game, but maybe it's got
yeah,
more than I'm thinking.
I agree. It does seem like a smaller type game that would be a little bit more affordable, but I suppose for Kickstarter, it's probably
Yeah.
getting to be on the cheaper end. It seems like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Boy.
Rise of Babel or Babel,
Babel. Yeah.
however you pronounce it.
Pausing to let you pronounce this and get attacked in the comments.
I don't know if there's a difference. Maybe there is. But yeah, this one's making 87,788 backers.
I would
3
think
days
this
to
would
go.
be doing better than some of these expansions.
I really would too with the Andrew Bosley art. I don't know. I feel like that usually seems to sell games, but yeah, for some reason it's not doing a little bit better. I don't know if it's the theme.
Company did the Flood. I guess I don't know how well received it was, or if it's out yet, or has a lot of reviews.
I think it was just recently delivering, if it has at all. I think it was just getting there. Ooh, wait a minute. We got the Shem approval. Wait a minute. I didn't even see this. I did not see this.
I just
very
read
solid
this.
deck build.
I'm like, sold.
But now I changed my mind. I might need to get this.
It looked interesting, kind of building the layers. I mean,
yeah, I think that's always an interesting thing.
Yeah,
but I don't know how fun it ends up being.
Because Teotihuacan was exciting for that reason, and you're kind of building out this center pyramid or whatever. Anything building seems nice.
Yeah, when it kind of brings that 3D element to the board, you start building up on things. That's always kind of a cool thing. You're like, oh, this is going to look really cool by the end, or Cusco or other games like that.
For sure, but Teo, I will call it, and that I don't know if that initially on the first play was as it's a heavy game, so it wasn't as lighthearted, fun building up of a tower or a pyramid. There wasn't that much of a focus on it.
No, yeah. As we've played it a few more times, I think we've built a little bit more. I don't know if you've played it more times, but I have with Michaela. It does seem like got a little bit more built, but it still is very, very difficult to do. Yeah. It does feel somewhat satisfying, but at the end of the day, it's like not necessarily like a ton of points and stuff.
So hopefully this one I'm doing is very focused on the building. It looks like it's going to be. There's not much else to the board.
Right.
Just these towers. So hopefully there's a good focus on that. And SJ and Shem are correct. That is a solid game as well. And delivers on time. I mean, that's our judgment. Is if Shem is involved in any way, his picture is on here. It will deliver on time. So the base pledge, which will just be cardboard layers of the tower, will be about $50. Or you can go to, with an expansion, bring it up to 75, or all in for 95, or get the deluxe pledge, which has still cardboard on top of a beautiful 3D miniature structure piece. A bit of overkill.
I agree.
A lot more money.
175 is a lot. It's a lot of money for that. I don't know that it needs that pledge level, but if you want that, they're giving you the option. But yeah, it's decently priced. But yeah, I always get worried if this is going to be too simple, or if it's not going to feel as satisfying building that up, or how that's going to actually feel in gameplay. Do you only get these plastic or
you get those
Amazul tile in
deluxe.
the 175?
Yes,
or do you get it in the second level?
I believe it is in the deluxe pledge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
But you get these little carts as well with the elephants. It's a lot of cool stuff, but
it's cool stuff, but
it's a bit much.
It is a little bit much. That's unfortunate that it's that much more. Not saying it probably maybe it does cost that much to produce the game. I have no idea. Especially with the I think this part's the over. I don't know that you necessarily needed this. Maybe that's the only way it works. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
but I wish you could just have the tiles with the other flat pieces. I don't know.
Yeah. It
Maybe you
is.
can. I haven't looked that closely at it.
Just the fact that it's also, you have to then put the tile onto it, I believe, or the card onto it to display it. Which I'm like, okay. So you're still using that same piece, pretty much. Just putting a base under it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Looks cool though. And shipping is going to be 13 plus based on what you get, and looking to deliver in October of next year. Over a year away.
They're giving themselves some time so they can meet the Shem timeline.
Mm-hmm. So that one's decently excited for me as well. If all of these were free and I just had my pickings, this would be up
That's
there.
true. I would agree with that.
Ascension. God, it's been around forever.
This one, maybe 20 years. Who knows? Ascension Legends. Yeah, I don't know if this one does a bunch of new stuff necessarily. It's standalone, so even if you have not played any Ascension before, you can get into this one. But is this? I can't remember. I know I played it. It's been a long time ago. Is this one of the type where you're trying to get a certain amount of points to win, or is this one where you're trying to attack your opponent?
I think maybe both. I think either or, maybe. Is that this one? Maybe not.
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played it.
I think I've probably watched a video on it, but
I think it is one of those like deck builder style ones or whatever, where you're buying cards and stuff with some of the cards and they have effects and stuff. But I can't remember if you're trying to kill like your opponent's hit points and stuff. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
sounds like this one takes a lot of stuff from previous installments that they said that people really enjoyed, bringing those things back, bringing some new things. I think some tracks or something. You move up tracks and gain benefits based on whatever gods or whatever are at the end of those tracks. Something like that, it sounded like. So some new stuff, some of the classic hits as well. So if you're a big fan of Ascension, hopefully this is something you're looking for.
Yeah, I would think it would be. I mean, it looks like some pretty cool cards and stuff. I don't know that much about it as a game, but I remember I think I had an app or something, and it was fine. I just maybe at the time I don't know that I'd played many like deck builder style games, so maybe if I went back now, maybe I would enjoy it more. But yeah, it seems like a lot of other games. But not to say it probably did it way before a lot of these other games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And $40 for if you just want the base.
It's not bad.
Standard edition of this. Shipping November of next year. So that's a long ways away for primarily card-based game.
That is quite a ways away.
It already exists. A lot of I assume it's the same company printing it. They should be established and know what they're doing.
I don't know. It just always, I don't know. It baffles me. I mean, it's good. I'd rather they do that than say, "Oh, we're going to have it November this year," and then be delayed and delayed and delayed, and maybe
it's crazy. Some projects would say, "Oh, November of this year." Be wary of that.
Be wary of that.
Probably this very next one. Sprocketforge, a gear turning engine builder. He's sold right there. Gears. What more do you need?
What more do you need than gears? Doing well. 42,464 backers. About a week and a half to go. And yeah, I always find gears interesting, but maybe Pepper. We just kind of look at these kind of quickly. We don't necessarily do a ton of research into them necessarily, unless something really looks interesting to us. Then we might do a little bit more, dig a little deeper. But I wasn't really 100% sure. It's like, oh, you can spin all the gears, each turn, and then combos. And I'm like, I don't understand how the combos work. What are we getting the combos from? That's what I wasn't sure of. So I'm like, I'm not saying that it's not cool. I just don't know.
Yeah. there must be
They
some combos that you can build into the benefits of these, but yeah, what the only part that I saw was it looked like you turned and produced what was at the bottom of the gear, kind of facing you, but yeah, I didn't
that
really
could be cool.
dive too much into it for combo wise, but obviously there's a lot more that we don't know about. Uh, but gears
So
are
maybe it was
cool.
just the bottoms, but at first I was wondering, is it where they're meeting and they're connecting with each other or powering the something? I wasn't 100% sure.
No, no, not that complicated, I'm sure. But yeah, gears, it's always maybe a little hard to actually tell how things are going to work. And even though they do have the arrows saying which way they're going to be pointing, I could easily find myself thinking it's going to go one way, literally going to go one way, and it goes another.
Yeah,
And I find myself out of luck.
that's true. Yeah. So I wasn't really I feel like I want to know more and like this one, but at the same time I wasn't totally drawn in 100%. I don't know that it was my all-time favorite artwork and look to the game.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
the
that it was enough
artwork
to
looks fine, but I don't know. Something about
yeah.
kind of the boards and stuff didn't totally work for me.
Yeah,
It felt like
maybe
it
that's more
covered
what
up
it
some
was.
of the
It just
artwork.
kind of maybe it's just because it was kind of gave a little bit of a dull feeling. I don't know. Just it didn't necessarily stand out to me. I think yeah, I shouldn't say like some of the artwork, but it wasn't anything that like hooked me. Like in the Rise of Babel, you got all these I don't know different colors and
Yeah.
stuff. And but
Yeah.
shallow
Base.
gamer,
So base plus resources. If you want those resin resources, $100. Metal gears, if you want those, 120. All in is 150. You got a 400 pledge. I guess I don't know if there's a base. Okay, so base is 60, which is all right. You're getting
yeah,
gears, even if they're not metal, they're still cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about what it is nowadays. And shipping is going to be either 18 or 23 bucks. Looking for
June of
June
25,
of next year.
giving themselves a little bit of time.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yonder. Over yonder. This one just makes me think of Disney. I'm like, is this a Disney
It
game?
does.
Whenever I look at that cover.
It does. I don't know. It makes me think of Disney. It makes me think of something else, and I don't know what it is. There's something about it that just looks, I don't know, just a little different, a little strange, in a
Yeah.
good way, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Maybe. We'll see. Uh,
yeah, this one's
wait
doing
till we
well.
do.
107,000, 1,300, week and a half to go. And I might have to do a little bit more digging into this one because it's a worker placement game, which
Worker
I tend
place.
to like. I tend to like, and then the workers all do slightly different things.
Special workers. When I saw that, when I was watching this video, I'm like, oh my goodness, Zach's going to love it. And I already love it.
I know, and I was like, even like the benefits that you seem to get from them, like, I feel like these things would be easy to remember.
Yeah. The big guy, he gets double the resources when you produce. You know, it's easy. Skeletons, you don't have to feed them, they're dead.
Look at him
So,
standing there by himself. The
uh,
poor skeleton.
poor skeleton. Yeah. But yeah, they're cute. Just have those little eyes printed on there. It's effective. It's a different style, but it's effective. I
It
like it.
is.
Uh, but yeah, just that core. Everything else, just get resources, do stuff. I don't know. Mumbo jumbo. I didn't pay attention. I just know the workers, they have little beady eyes and they do special things. And
That's all I
that's
needed to know.
got me interested quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure this is my pick of the week. Just because, yeah, it seemed unique enough, and the rest of it seemed simple enough. It didn't seem like it was necessarily trying to do too much
Yeah.
craziness, and trying to do too much, try to stick too many things in the game, which
Yeah.
I feel like I was looking for maybe a year or two ago, some games like that, and looking into that, and then they just ended up being kind of too much, or things were kind of cool in the games, and then other parts of it weren't cool and didn't really blend together. So this one didn't seem like it would be like overwhelming. So I always
Yeah.
like that when it's kind of bringing kind of a unique element to it. But I guess I don't know if it maybe be too simple too.
Yeah,
With
maybe.
the twist just mainly being those workers.
Yeah, yeah.
Had to look at this one a
Well,
little bit more.
well, it sounded like there's something about the orders you fill, and then you have to fill them every
Oh yeah.
day after it, or something every round. So if that's something that you can control, like choose whether you're going to do something, but then you're
Oh yeah.
stuck with it every round, that could be cool. Uh,
Yeah. Now that you said it,
yeah.
yeah, it was one of the things I was thinking. I wonder how that would actually work. If it feel like feed your people, or if it feels more like a cool thing. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah, I would say this is probably my pick of the week as well. I remember going through it. This is the one that hooked me the most with those workers. I had the biggest reaction to. Um, I forget if I texted you. It was the only one that I considered texting you beforehand about something about Yonder. I was probably trying to come up with some sort of pun or joke about it, but wasn't successful. So I don't think I sent anything, but it
Yeah, I
had me
don't remember.
excited. Yeah, you can get the Kickstarter edition for 50 or 65 bucks, looks like, with all of those components, or a deluxe edition, which goes with some metal coins, some wooden tokens, and some acrylic tokens as well for 97 bucks, which is a little much. I'd probably just stay
Yeah,
with the simpler version.
yeah, that's the tough part about so many of these. Like, I I really like to look at some of these Euro style games and stuff, but just so many of them are getting to be
My
just
goodness.
really expensive, and it
Right
just
there with Cthulhu Death May Die, it's going to be just as good.
I hope so.
Yeah, it can get expensive, so what can you do? What can you do? 65 seems a little much, but I don't know.
Yeah, the worst part is then you tack on shipping, it's about 80.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just where the Kickstarter prices seem to be nowadays. It's not like this is any more than like all those other ones we've looked at. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll have to do some more research.
maybe. And the final one we have here also has thousands of backers. That is Wandering Galaxy, a Crossroads game. Which a Crossroads game is pretty much all that matters here to us.
Right? Very important in telling us kind of what this game may be. I think the
Yes.
first Crossroads game we did own, I think it was the first,
Yeah.
technically, but it has been very different from the more recent Crossroads game. I don't know if they did any between Forgotten Waters and Dead of Winter. So Dead of Winter was the original, I believe, and then many years later they did Forgotten Waters. They were very different games.
Very different. Mostly app integration. They might have been
Yeah,
similar, maybe behind the app. It works in a similar
true.
way to that, but I know in that one you were kind of keeping track of if things were triggered.
Yeah.
The
I
app
wonder if
just.
they could go back and revisit that and add more of an app implementation to Dead of Winter.
I think they should. I think they should. Although I don't know if zombies are as hot as they once were.
I was going to say that's the only thing. I don't know if zombies are as hot now as they probably were when they came out with Dead of Winter. Uh, but
They
it might
still,
be worth revisiting. I don't know.
yeah. But yeah, this one is looking to be another in the line of games and successful, over $177,000, over
And we're
2,000
getting kind of like
backers.
Burgle Bros. We're starting to go into what
This
feels like space territory here.
is space sci-fi. As a theme or as a look, I like it more than freelancers. Not a huge fan of that look, at least of the cover and stuff. It's not as striking as Forgotten Waters cover. This is kind of just a set of characters. I know you're not a fan of Forgotten Waters cover, or maybe it's grown on you, but for me,
That
I
was
really
growing on me a
liked it.
little bit, but I definitely right away did not like it at all.
Yeah. So it's somewhere in the middle for me, but since I know the system, it helps it and hurts it because I'm like, oh, there's a good system to this game. But at the same time, we have two of those already.
Right. Yeah, that's just it. I think it's whether or not you want to kind of explore a new world, and you're
Yeah.
hoping they will continue on with kind of the the nice app integration they've had with
I guess
these
that's
other two. Um, so I think it's whether or not you want to do that. Uh, I think this is one that I don't know that I'll back, but I think it is one that will probably end up getting at some point.
yeah, because there are a limited amount of scenarios. I don't know how many they have for even
Yeah, I'm
extra
not
ones you
sure.
can get. I'm guessing there's a lot to keep you entertained for a good while. But yeah, I think
Yeah, the
being
gameplay is usually I think the times we've played have been like 4 to 6 hours. So
yeah, yeah, and it's very story driven. So
yes,
it's not like from game to game the mechanics. There might be some unique things, but it's not like you're like, wow, that just played totally different. It's all about the story, and if that's different, so that does help it because it's a new story. It doesn't have to be that different mechanic wise. It probably introduces a few different things, but all it has to deliver is a new story or a new setting to explore. And I think they can keep pumping these out for the next couple decades.
yeah, I think it's a cool thing. That's why I'm like I wouldn't mind them going back to Dead of Winter and redoing it with more of this kind of app integration. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as that, but I
Yeah.
mean, you could do some, a wintry kind of apocalyptic, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
thing. More
Yeah.
of a wintered one. And it could happen to have some zombies in it.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt. Uh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for this one. Like I said, I don't know that I'd back it, but uh,
Yeah.
I've liked these games quite a bit personally.
Yeah. It's pretty proven at this point. I can't imagine one in this series just being like, oh my goodness, horribly received. What a mess. I think they have the system down. You may prefer one over the other, but it's
Mhm.
going to be solid. So if you've been waiting for just space themed version of something like this, if you just really want to get in, maybe roll a d20 quite a few times
Yeah.
and just really explore a world and a story, make some choices, and you want a space theme to that, I would recommend it.
Mhm. I'd recommend going back and playing those other ones as well if you'd rather
Yeah.
do that than wait until the end of the year. That's another thing. This one's pretty quick. I think when they did, I'm kind of surprised how quickly they got these out. They must be working on them like at the same time or something,
Yeah.
because freelancers I think released at Gen Con last year, so this is only coming, supposed to come by the end of this year. So this is less than a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Um, and the stories that we've all played have been good, I think. So
It's pretty crazy. You could get all three of these for $130, which seems pretty good. That's was that
yeah,
43 bucks a piece.
yeah,
That's pretty good price. I mean, everything is usually about $50. So,
yeah.
and this one even base pledge is 60. So if you just apply that math to each one of these, you're saving $50.
There you go. But yeah, you can go take a look. I'm not sure. I don't. Yeah, I have both of those, so I've not kept up with their prices and stuff. You can maybe check out Miniature Market or Game Nerds if it's like, oh, this kind of sounds interesting to me, but I don't know for sure.
10
They,
bucks
I mean,
shipping.
they should be reasonably priced. I would think if they're in stock.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, December 2024. I think they probably will be ready for that, which is making this more of like a pre-order. So I
Yeah.
think I did pre-order the freelancers, and at that time, I don't know why they're trying something a little bit different here, but I think they did free shipping even. I could be wrong
Oh,
on that. I
nice.
believe it was free shipping
Oh,
because
nice.
there was something about you could pick it up at Gen Con or you could do free shipping. It would just maybe be like a month later. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, got to save more room at Gen
Yeah.
Con for other games. So
So
just send it to my house.
the money you saved on shipping, you were able to spend on another game at Gen Con.
Exactly.
Yeah. Give and take.
There you go. Well, some good projects this week. I don't know that I'll actually pull the trigger on any of them. We'll see. We'll see. I might have to take another look at Yonder. I think that was the only one that I was uh, probably. Well, I guess Babel isn't like the biggest numbers either. I was just trying to think of ones that might not
Oh.
be available after the fact. I mean, this one's got 1,300. Luthier, I assume it will because of Distilled has, and that's been
Yeah.
popular. So I'm assuming if that one does end up being good, it will be available after the fact.
Sprocketforge, maybe I forget how much that had 464.
Yeah, this is probably one that I would probably, if you're interested in it, back it. Is this what Kickstarter is all about?
That's what I thought you were gonna say. I feel like
I
this.
think it probably is because
Yeah.
it does kind of, there's pieces of it here that don't quite feel polished. I guess I shouldn't say that. I don't know. How many projects have they created before I start digging myself a hole here?
Two.
Okay,
They created two.
but not too many yet. Kind of early on.
Minnesota. My goodness.
Oh, this is great. This is the greatest production I've ever seen.
Stifling Dark, which looks like that funded as well. Yeah, looks like a big game, but who
It
knows
does look
what
like
that
a big
is.
game.
Yeah. So Kickstarter is made for
It is.
everyone. Sprocketforge.
Getting people going.
Hmm.
But yeah. Definitely could be good. That's another one that I just would have to see exactly.
Yeah.
I have to look into it a little bit more as to how the actions trigger. But yeah, with all those moving parts, you start wondering if, oh no, they're maybe trying to bite off a little bit too much. But if it is just the bottoms, I think that would be easy enough to kind of see. And as long as, like you said, they have the arrows pointing which way they're going to turn, it should be doable.
You cannot beat the gears. You just can't beat that, says the Hungry Gamer.
And the Hungry Gamer has never lied. That I'm aware of. But yeah, that's all the projects we're looking at this week. Let us know in the comments below if you're backing any of these, if you're backing anything else. There's other ones out there that we should take a look at. But yeah, otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. You can subscribe so you'll see when that comes out. But yeah, check out our other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.